You know, they say, believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see. But can we even be sure of that half? Because once we understand how our senses work and how limited they actually are, it starts to become clear that even what we do see might only be a fraction of what's actually there. Let's break this down. Our vision, our hearing, our senses, our perception of the world, they're all tuned to a specific frequency range. That range is part of what's called the electromagnetic spectrum. Sure, you've heard of it. Now, what's that? The electromagnetic spectrum is the full range of energy frequencies in existence. It includes radio waves, microwaves, infrared, visible light, ultraviolet light, X-rays, gamma rays, the whole spread of light and energy. But here's the thing. The part we actually see, which is visible light, is less than 1% of that entire spectrum. So over 99% of the energy around us right now is completely invisible to the human eye. Not because it's not there, but because we were never built to detect it. And that's the real twist. What we often call nothing is actually something we just haven't been able to perceive. It's not absent. It's just outside of the range of our senses. Let that settle for a moment. How much of reality do we dismiss, identify as empty, void, meaningless, just because we couldn't see it? Our biology narrows the lens. It filters the vastness of existence down into a functional slice. But don't mistake that slice for the full picture. We're living in a reality full of signals, waves, energy patterns, most of which pass right through us undetected. And when we shift from the electromagnetic spectrum to the very building blocks of matter, it gets even deeper. Let's talk about atoms. Everything we know, our bodies, our homes, the earth, the chair I'm sitting on, is made of atoms. But atoms themselves are mostly space. If the nucleus of the size of a marble, if the nucleus of the atom is the size of a marble, the nearest electron would be 2 football fields away. And what's in between? Structured space, organized energy, invisible architecture. So again, what we think of as solid is really vibration and tension inside a whole lot of empty space. But that space isn't nothing, that space is everything. Because it's from that so-called emptiness that particles arise. It's the field that gives rise to form. It's the unseen that makes the seen possible, and that pattern repeats everywhere. You can't see Wi-Fi, but your phone connects. You can't see radio waves, but when you put on the radio, it plays. You don't see thought, but it changes your body chemistry. You don't see spirit, but you felt it. And that's the thing we have forgotten. We've been trained to only trust what we can touch. But some of the most powerful forces in existence, gravity, magnetism, emotion, memory, intuition, they're all invisible. So again, I ask, how much of reality are we blind to simply because we haven't evolved or got the tools to register it? And that's what the ancients spoke of, prana, chi, spirit. Not because of some fantasy, but because they had learned to tune into what's always been here. Modern science is just beginning to catch up. Quantum physics now tells us that matter behaves differently under observation, that the field exists before the form, that the energy is the root and that matter is the echo. So don't be fooled by the limitations of your senses, because what you don't see is often more real than what you do see. And what we once called nothing just might be the source of everything. Think about that and have a blessed one. Namaste.